This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome folks, we are here at the Agronomy Farm, Kansas State University. It is a beautiful day and we'll be talking about soybean production, planting update and some early season problems. When we are looking at planting time, May was very challenging for us in terms of precipitation conditions, wet soils. We have compaction problems. So here is, for example, one issue of potential compaction problems. Roots tend to be more pressed, and then when you're looking at the roots on the lower section of the plants, you see that they are not going down as they're supposed to be, but then the root was facing a compaction issue in the soil, so those roots are going horizontally and tend to be compacted. So if folks are wondering what might be the problem with this, one potential problem on this situation is a couple of things. One is lack of really proper root development, and then you are seeing that these situations, root tend to thick. Then we are basically trying to invest more resources to push, to go down. And then the other consequence that you can get to see here is a very lack of nodules. So remember that we talk about nodulation is a very important process for nitrogen fixation for soybeans. So when you're looking about this root, has almost a few nodules, almost none. And let's look for another situation that it will be with less root compaction. Here is an example. So in this case, you can get to see a plant that has a little bit less root compaction, it has more root hairs, and it has more different type of roots. You have more lateral roots. And the second point also is, if you look at around the plant, and I will slowly turn it around, you will see that we are counting at least probably close to 8 to 10 different nodules. Importantly, these nodules are attached to the main root stem, so those are really critical to provide nitrogen fixation to the plant. This plant with nodules will be in much better shape, taking up nutrients and nitrogen coming from fixation, while this one will be suffering by lack of presence of that nodulation, and it will probably produce some kind of nitrogen deficiencies later in the season. Except for a few areas in the state, we're almost getting very close to finish all the soybean planting. When you're looking at the stage of the crop, looking at many different situations across the state, we have a very good crop, things that they were planting a little bit later, things that they were planting by the end of May. When you're looking at crop that was planted a little bit earlier than that, we have situations of soybeans planted late April or even mid-May. Those soybeans are the ones that we are seeing a little bit more of challenging situations, and between those challenging situations we can emphasize root compaction problems. We have seen lack of uniformity in many cases, since we have planting in wet conditions and those plants were delaying the emergence. So we have situations of poor root development in many cases, compaction problems, things that just to look around when you're looking at soybean stands at this time of the season is looking specifically at weed control. As you see, in many situations, looking at soybeans that we have planted early here, still they are not closing the canopy. Many situations around here we are still seeing 2, 3 trifoliates, 4 trifoliates in the really best conditions. Sizes of plants that they are still small for the time of the year. One main recommendation for farmers is start going out, scouting fields.
Tarwater Farm and Home has been family owned and operated since its beginning in 1978. What you need for farm and agriculture, lawn and garden, clothing and footwear, and so much more. You'll be surprised at what you'll find in this huge store. They have what you need and lots of it. So come take a look. You'll discover that customer service is first and foremost. Always has been with the Tarwaters. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard.